Let's make sure everything is going fine here before I say anything else. Hope everyone is doing well today. My name is Enigma, and I am basically a variety streamer. I play a lot of Wonderlands and Borderlands games, though. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm trying to type, but I can't type. Alright, so let's take a look here. Pull my chat up. Anyway, alright guys, welcome. My name, of course, is Enigma, and we're going to do some more Borderlands, or Wonderlands. One of the lands. Wonderlands content today, so let's go into... I'm still trying to get some volatile gear. I did get a volatile spell yesterday, but I don't use it, so who cares, right? So we won't be using that, but it's the only piece of volatile gear I have received so far was a gelatinous cube spell. Maybe I'll use that on my when I make a spell shot or something. And I got that farming the snake lady. So today will be a little different. Well, actually, it won't be a little different. The way that, because we will have our hotfix coming in today, and that's where Gearbox continues to try to figure out some of the problems with the game and try to fix them. So don't be a bit surprised. We'll have a new featured run coming this week. Today we will have. It's not happened yet. Got a couple more hours till it take effect, and they'll put in some hot fixes for weapons and some of the bugs that are there. This game is littered with bugs, guys. There are a lot of bugs that they have yet to iron out yet. I figure what I would do is try to do a couple of these Chaos Chamber runs to see if we can find, and make them a little more difficult and see if we can get our maybe get something from the rabbit statues or something. I don't know. We'll see. That's my plan anyway. Anyway, so I hope you're having a great day today. Happy Thursday to you. Happy better than average Thursday, since tomorrow is Good Friday. If you, oh gosh, that reminds me. I gotta put on my bunny ears, right? Better than average. Got you there. Okay. Take your reward. I didn't even see what the side mission was for that, so we completely missed that more than likely. Yeah, we did. And there's probably melee damage or something stupid. Bulwark Buddies or Healing Vengeance. Let's do Healing Vengeance. I should have made those elite. Next one I'll do elite. This time we got to protect Butt Stallion. Anyway, yesterday I did play this offline, and to make a long story short, it was not successful as far as getting any of the volatile gear. It was exceedingly difficult to get volatile gear. I only got one piece, and like I said, it was a magic spell, so hopefully we'll get lucky today and get something else. Oh my, they're going to destroy the statue. do it? Oh, so, okay, we did complete it. Good. Anyway. Let's make sure we don't have anything around here we can get. I'll make the next encounter. I don't think the encounters actually make it easier or harder, do they? As far as grabbing stuff goes, so maybe I won't. They just give you more pulls with the crystals. Or with the, yeah, with the crystals. Let's try it. Make it elite. See what happens, right? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Okay. So we do have some updates going on here. We are currently 37 subs away from our 50 sub goal for the month. If that happens, we will play Rumble Roses on a Friday night stream coming up. Speaking of Friday night streams, it looks like tomorrow's Friday night stream will not happen. To make a long story short, we're having company coming tomorrow night. And when you have company, it's just not good form to stay up till 2 or 3 in the morning streaming video games while you have company upstairs. So if that changes, I will definitely let people know on Twitter. But as it currently stands, it looks like I will have to take tomorrow off. And we'll bring it back on next Friday. And I'm sorry about that. That tends to be one of those Friday nights. I don't like to suspend Friday nights because while the viewership isn't as high, I do get subs those nights. Unfortunately, it just can't happen this week. More than likely. If our company decides they're not coming until Saturday, I'll be here. But it looks like they're going to do what they can to be here a little later on Friday afternoon. So nothing will probably happen that day. Watch my Twitter, and any sort of changes, we'll definitely keep everybody updated on that.
We're like 2 peas in a pod, 2 bullets in a mag, 2 things in one other thing.
Looks like we're good. Okay. Okay. Mini boss time, okay. There'll be no side mission here, it'll just be us attacking, and the mini boss will pop out of that obelisk right there once we kill so many of these things. Say, why wasn't magic working? Yeah. Thank you, Bear. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for the lurk. Obelisk open. Yep, it's pigwort. Pigwort can be a little bit of a pain. Well, that's not good. What the heck, man?
I'm afraid.
Pigwort is vicious. We gotta get out the good gun for this.
Don't look at me like that. You may be dead, but I've still got to be careful.
Here we go. I almost died there. Let's grab all the health and all the... Get our shield back and collect all the crystals. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me. Oh, a legendary. Didn't sound like it was anything big, though. It's just a shield, and it's a ward, and it's not even a volatile or chaotic ward. Easy encroaching darkness. We'll do encroaching darkness. I don't want to get too crazy, go nuts. That's chaotic. Be good for selling. So anyway, after I get offline today, I'll probably spend a lot of time cleaning what's left of the house. I have some stuff I need to do around here. We'll figure out what else needs to be done. I know that the boss wants to clean the kitchen, even though we're not going to be spending a lot of time there. Apparently, we're going to the Museum of Science and Industry tomorrow, or on Saturday, which is totally going to put as far as I know at this point, I had gone to the store and bought a turkey breast, and the reason why is because whenever I'm the type of person that when someone visits from out of town or when we go somewhere out of town, I don't want to eat at the places or have meals that I can necessarily get at home. You know, why would you go all the way to wherever to eat at McDonald's? You know, it's all the same McDonald's stuff, right? So I always want things there to be a difference, and I want to give people an experience that they don't often get. So we came up with the idea of deep frying a turkey breast for them while they are here, because I don't think they've ever had one before, and it's something that would be really good. And it looks, so I went out and bought a turkey breast to put in our deep fryer. I got the thing. It's actually been defrosting in the refrigerator for the last 4 or 5 days, so it's almost completely ready. I can't refreeze it now, and it looks like, because we're not going to be here a lot, we're going to be at the Museum of Science and Industry, that we won't have time to do the turkey breast for them. So we'll probably having to do it on Sunday for both of us. I don't know that to be a fact yet, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. And it's a big old turkey breast. I got one that's like 6 pounds, so that's going to be a lot of meat for the boss and myself. But that's okay. I love deep fried turkey, so we can definitely find a way to make that into something fantastic. We have to make it, so I think we'll do it for Easter. Because it's if I realized this 3 or 4 days ago, I could have just put it right back in the freezer. But because it's defrosted, you can't refreeze something that's been frozen once you defrost it. So we'll have to make it. The good news is we got a really good deal on it. So when I went and picked it up, I didn't. I guess some people eat turkey for Easter. I don't know quite how that is, but Easter's changed a lot over the years. Uh, when I was a kid, it was go hunt for the Easter eggs, and here are some jelly beans and some chocolate rabbits. And at some point in the 2000s, it turned into like a Christmas Junior kind of thing, where people now use it as gift giving, and they buy actual presents and things like that, which I was completely unaware of. But they do. Hey, Jinxed! How's work going for you? Ooh, these are mimics. I hope that your day is going just as beautiful as you are. Sorry, I'm not in the UK, so we can't hang out. You're not working. Oh, I thought you said you were working today. I apologize for reading something into it that wasn't there.
Got the big target. I need to practice.
Ooh, vacation. Vacations are fun. You're just staying. Is it a staycation? You staying at home?
Thanks for taking one for the team.
I'm gonna lose. Dang it. Had to cancel your trip. I'm sorry. Where were you gonna go?
Way to finish him off.
Southern Norway. I have never been over to Europe. I would love to go sometime. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Canada. I've been all over this area, but I've never been over there. Is Norway nice at this time of year? Because it seems like it would be cold. And why did you have to cancel it? Pretty cold, yeah. I can imagine. I know I've seen some of those pictures of some of those areas where it's just really, really pretty, and I'd love to go. You like it cold? Yeah, you'd love Chicago then.
Thunder Dragon Knight.
It gets really cold here for a very long time. Whew, made it. I think I think it comes down to what we are so used to. For me, it's we here in Chicago, we get our winters are crazy here. Like really crazy winters. So I prefer summer, but that's probably because winters are so long here. You know what I mean? That if the things were just the opposite for me, and if I lived in Florida, I probably would actually like the winters better. I'm not sure how the climate is where you live in the UK, but here it's and we get 8 months of winter here. Yeah. think there's a piece of... Yep. Hey there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. We have... Wow, we have a lot of crystals to spend here. Oh, you live in Norway. I thought you lived in the UK. My apologies. The way you were talking, I thought you were in the UK. Chaotic. You're going to the UK in 2 weeks. Ah. Yeah, that was a waste. That was not. That is a chaotic white rider. Oh, that's better than what I have. So I'm definitely going to use that. There's a good pull. Now let's go pistols and see if I can get... pretty well. You know, some days are better than others, but I think that's the way that it is with a lot of us. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I just think we, sometimes life gives us lemons sometimes. But I still try to stay positive and uplifting and all that good stuff, even if I'm not having a good day. I want everybody else to. So, I'm very much into making sure people feel good about things if I can. There's this stuff can be sold.
Come along now, my little Ember.
Interesting. At least you're on vacation this week, though. That's good. Got a chaotic white rider. That's excellent news. Oh, we always have things to do. No such thing as just... You gonna stream it all this week, or are you just gonna kind of relax and not do a lot? Noah, how you doing, buddy? Thank you for coming in. Gonna stream on Sunday. That's Easter. If I'm around, I will definitely come say hi to you. I should be. It'll depend on time of day and what's going on. I'll definitely come say hi to you. If I can. What do you got here? Yeah, bank is important. Bank, bank, bank. Not feeling okay to stream. You're not. Are you sick? Is that why you had to cancel your trip? Yeah. I appreciate it, Noah. Sorry that you can't hear me. I understand, though, when you're at work, you have those loud machines. Not exactly. Not exactly feeling well. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. The featured run expires in 23 minutes. That's great stuff.
Crack some skulls.
Well, you know I'm here if you need someone to talk to, Jinx. I'm always here for you.
One across play for the best, do ya? Just like I taught you. Oh, you really thought you were gonna win, didn't you?
We are friends, so I will do whatever I can to help you out if I can. Come on, kill the iron mushrooms. Hopefully whatever is bugging you will be over soon. Funny thing is, for me, whenever I get I get a mental block in my head. Oh my gosh, welcome Raiders. Thank you, Happy Cup. Welcome everybody. Hope everyone is doing well today. How was your stream, Happy Cup? Nightcrawler, good to see you, buddy. Lisa Marie, thank you for coming in. Let's see, Healing Vengeance, Bulwark, but we're gonna go Healing Vengeance. Hey George, how's everybody doing today? Oh gosh, I knocked off my rabbit ears. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've always wanted to try to get into that. But every time I try to play it, I just can't get past the intro for some reason. Amanda, oh, you're going for you're coming up here, or are you going to northern Florida? Oh, you're coming up here. That's right.
I love it.
You're coming up here to with your grandma, if I'm not mistaken. If memory serves me correct. Prevent Butt Stallion from being destroyed. Okay, so don't attack Butt Stallion. I'm doing well, George. Thank you for asking, my friend. Everything is going just as peachy keen as can be.
And that means
We're trying to get some volatile gear in this game. We are at the highest difficulty currently. And so far, the game has been exceedingly stingy with it. So we're trying. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa Marie. I appreciate that. Lisa. Is it Lisa?
keep around.
Thank you for the lurk, Jinx. If you need to talk, you know where I am. Okay, let's go around and grab our stuff. If you're not, this is the Chaos Chamber, which is the end game content they have. And if you're, I'm collecting crystals because the crystals are what you use to cash in to get gear at the end. Alyssa. Okay, Alyssa's better then. I apologize for saying your name incorrectly. Try to give everybody the dignity of the name that they want to be called. All right. Take that. And I'll take that. We'll use this one. This is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's been out for about 3 weeks now, I think. Tomorrow, I think, will be 3 weeks. It's like it's a Schluter, so it's a spin-off of Borderlands. Hey, Midge Star, thanks for coming in. But this one is a spin-off of Borderlands, so it's more like Dungeons and Dragons. We're technically playing a Dungeons and Dragons kind of game that's being mastered by Tiny Tina. And she's a little crazy. Thank you, George. I appreciate that. We destroyed the statue. But everything in this game is a pop culture reference to Dungeons and Dragons or other RPGs. I got something that referenced Mass Effect the other day. It's just a lot of fun. These games are a lot of fun. I always enjoy the humor and the imagination behind them. That's, well, it's Borderlands, so there are guns in Borderlands. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it so much. And let's see, I can either do Encroaching Darkness or Frozen Vengeance. I'm definitely going to take Encroaching Darkness. Frozen Vengeance is a pain in the butt. Mini boss time. This will be Pig Ward again, probably, because we're doing the featured run. Featured run will actually roll over here in a couple of days. I remember Pool of Radiance. I was never good at it, though. So I was not an expert at it. The game, anyway. I think it was based off of a book series, was it not? Which was based off of a D&D campaign. I could be wrong about that. I'm by no means an expert at D&D. Got all of them. Pigwort should be coming out of that obelisk anytime. There he is. He's the mini boss of this. And he's tough. He's not easy. That's how I was with Final Fantasy 1. I had the Nintendo strategy guide for that, and I wore that sucker out. I still have it somewhere, but the cover is gone. I took that with me everywhere. By the time I got my hands on the game that Christmas, I'd already memorized all the maps and where everything was, and I knew what I wanted to do. That was a long time ago. I had that in my I had it in my book sack when I was at school, and I would, whenever I had a minute at lunch or whatever, I'd take it out and study and read. Searing Tether, Nasty Spill. I'm gonna do Searing Tether.
Ha! You fell for it. Classic hero bait.
Joshua, thanks for coming in. I played 7. 7 is the Babe Ruth of Final Fantasy games. It will always be considered to be the greatest RPG ever made, but it's not the best. Because through Final Fantasy 7, we got all these other RPGs over here. Before that, RPGs were a very niche thing. Love it. That worked out really well. I played Baldur's Gate. I liked Baldur's Gate quite a bit. And Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, I played that too. Ooh, that hurt. There was a point in time where Dungeons and Dragons was a really, really big deal when it came to computer games and console games.
All right, now it's a party.
Yes, 37 more subs and I'll play Rumble Roses, speaking of old games. I'll have a Friday night stream where we play Rumble Roses. A all-female wrestling game that has nothing to do with wrestling. I don't know if I want another one of those. Let's do this one. My dad loves Resident Evil. That's Legend of Zelda and Resident Evil are his guilty pleasures. He plays them all the time. In fact, it's probably what he's doing right now. Knowing him. Rumble Roses it's not a gentleman's game. Let me put it like that. It's a game that is very over the top. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Thanksgiving. Rumble Roses is basically the kind of game that you can tell the audience it was made for, because it's borderline softcore pornography. It's pretty naughty. It's pretty naughty. If you have an itch to scratch when it comes to ladies, they have a character in it for you. That's and I only agreed to do it because a friend of mine was like, "Dude, you have to, I can't believe you have that game. You have to play it." Like, okay, well, let's set a sub goal for it and see what happens. Alright, so that's that. Now we can go see Butt Stallion, or we can see Dragon Lord again. I think she actually makes it harder for us to get loot. So we'll do one more of these. Oh, back to the mimics. Well, I didn't think they would either, but then someone said to me, you know, if they allow hot tub streams, there's nothing you won't see on one of those hot tub streams that you're not going to see in that game, so. And it is it's pretty risque. Look at all the crystals. Nice that we have all those. You're right. I have not really seen them either, but I know they exist. There are people who have made quite the living off of them. And heck, if it's an itch that needs to be scratched, good on them, as far as I'm concerned. Not something I would do, or patronize, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I don't believe that they shouldn't be able to do it. Shmeely, how you doing, man? Yes, Joshua. Yeah, basically I own both of those Rumble Roses games because of I worked at GameStop for 10 years, and I bought practically every game that came out at that time. You're making YouTube videos? I upload my stuff to YouTube. I'm a YouTube gamer, not a Twitch. You'd think I would be better at YouTube than I would be at Twitch? I worked hard for my Twitch affiliation. Ah, kill it. I didn't know there was a difference between it. I just thought streaming was streaming. I've only got like 4 or 5, 6 subscribers to my YouTube channel anyway.
Thanks for taking one for the team.
Down. Parasite's easy. I wasn't really worried about him. Pigwort's harder than Parasite, quite honestly. Look at that. 3,000 crystals. Last time we got some pretty good pull. We got a good pull out of the bunnies, so hopefully we'll get some good pulls this time.
Welcome back, my cranial companion.
Cranial companion. Oh, we have a mythic rank too. Well, if you need to go back to sleep, I slept really well, but then again, the last 2 nights I didn't, so I was really tired last night. Top 6, 1549. All right, go me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, what is that? What is that? Chaotic. Blazing volley of the murky depths. Okay. Alright, I have 3,800 crystals here, so let's see about getting a pistol. That's a legendary, but not a chaotic or anything. Got another job interview. Go you. I haven't had a job interview, or actual job interview, in a couple of months. Chaotic. Boniface's Soul, the champion. Okay. Let's see. I'll take one more pull of this. Another chaotic. Alright. Well, if they're just going to keep dropping chaotics, I'm going to keep doing pulls. Why haven't you had a good sleep? Midstar. Ideally, I would like to be in something with training and development, something in human resources. I think would be great. Nothing, huh? Nothing chaotic. It's all... Thank you for the lurk, Amanda.
Back in business.
I would be very good at training and development. I ran a GameStop for 10 years. Oh, I'm so sorry, Midstar. I wish there was something I could do to help you with that.
Hey, hey, there's my little beast of burning.
But my favorite part of working at GameStop was bringing new people in and training them and developing them as employees. I loved doing that. So ideally that's what I'd love to do. But unfortunately, those jobs don't come up very often, and when they do, they're not easy to get. Even though I have an insane amount of experience, and I have exceedingly high education, it's not, hasn't gotten me anywhere yet. Hey, Midstar, if I don't worry, it means I don't care. And I do care.
We'll see.
Expires in negative 43 minutes. Let's see if it just re-rolls. And I do care about you. You're my friend. Let's see what this says now. Featured run expires in negative 44 minutes. Okay. I know that it's supposed to be at 10 Central, that everything is supposed to re-roll. So. But we had some good pulls doing this, so I'm all about it. Huggles indeed. Hopefully the next one will be just as easy as this one. I guess I should go over what I'm doing. This is not a bad time for me to do this. Basically, we're level cap, and we have we're getting. I'm gear farming, and if we take a look at our loot luck here, that's actually wrong. Oh, it's under Chaos Chamber. I can't look at it. Never mind. I'll have to do it afterwards. There are 3 types of gear in this game, at least at this point. There's standard gear, there's chaotic gear, and there's volatile gear. And now that I'm on the highest difficulty, on the highest settings, I get a chance at getting the volatile gear, and that's what I'm hunting for. The problem is, it's about 1.5% chance of every drop of me to get it. To get volatile gear, and it's not... so I'm looking for volatile legendaries, and they are not easy to come by. I've only had 1 legendary volatile piece drop in the last 2 days so far. And it was a stupid spell that I can't use, or that I don't want to use. Incorrect. This is a multiplayer co-op game. I can play this with up to 4 people, or 3 other people. We can invite each other, and we can do co-op all the missions and hunt for stuff together. It is not single player, it is multiplayer. And it is also multi-platform now. So I can actually... I play on PlayStation 5, but I can play with Xbox and PC people, which might not sound like a big deal, but I can... that PlayStation allowed it is a big deal. Because Sony is very stingy about those sort of things. Yes, Easter's on Sunday, so I'm wearing bunny ears. I try to wear funny things for holidays. I gotta think of what I'm gonna do. 4th of July, I have to get the fireworks ears or something, right? Oh, I didn't even see you, dude. There we are. There's a legendary drop, but it's not chaotic. Schmealy, how are the Red Sox doing? I know that they lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees at the beginning of the season. Take all the crystals.
Saving the world, power gaming is a moral obligation.
Ah, okay, got you there, got you there. There we go. Well, why not? Make it harder. Dragon Lord statue is there. I'll destroy that. So we have, in about 12 minutes, they're going to have the hot fixes applied. And we'll see what changes. Because this is a new game, and because there are a lot of bugs in it still, I imagine we'll see some weapon balances. Last week they buffed the heck out of shotguns and COB assault rifles. That's why this gun is so good now. The Rain of Arrows. The shotgun that shoots clouds of arrows at enemies, I think is hilarious. And it's also really strong, so collect all the crystals and we'll keep going. We keep going here. And so Dragon Lord, who has he got for us? He's got two things to choose from. Wouldn't say going to be encroaching darkness or frozen. It's going to be encroaching darkness. It's mini boss time. Pigwort is going to come out of there. And we're going to have to see what he's up to. Takes a hammer. And this is a game based off of your build as well. Build and gear, the two top things. That's why I'm hunting for gear, because I think I've got a pretty decent build. I didn't find it online either. I made this up, so... It's based off of companion damage, since I have 2 companions. But I think they're trying to balance a lot of the weapon damage. Because Borderlands has traditionally been a game about pistols and SMGs. Especially Borderlands 3. Thank you for following. I appreciate it so much. It's legendary. And I don't know if the build is really that good or not, but it's getting me by. I'm using, this is a Clawbringer Gloom, or a Clawbringer Graveborn build. So it's based off of having 2 companions. The more companions that I have, the stronger my character is. So, ooh, that hurt. Ah, 3 lives. 1 down. It's alright. We're still good. I got a little cocky there with my weapons. Got a little cocky there, so they had to put me in timeout for a second. Oh, wrong weapon. Yeah, my secondary character is a Spore Warden Stabomancer, and I'm thinking of changing that. I want one of every flavor, though. I made this based off of wanting to damage based off of companions. And I think it's pretty good, but until I actually get the gear, really good gear for it, it's hard to say. There's Pigwort. Come on, Pigwort. He's a pain in the rear, Pigwort is. Once he goes down, the encounter will be over. Got him. Okay. I look at Spore Warden as being a really good secondary class. I'm not entirely certain it's a great primary class, but then again, that's just my opinion, and I need to play with mine a little more. Since I have this character up so high now with all the loot luck and everything, I've been playing as this character exclusively for the last week or so. Because I have all the bonuses with my Clawbringer here. Nasty Spill, Searing Tether. We'll go Nasty Spill this time. Why not? Everything should be elite in here, so we're going to have more BAs and things like that. Higher level. This White Rider's a really good gun. I like it that you can do this. I did get this chaotic version my last time through, which is awesome. But we're gonna need some better stuff. Yeah. And that's why I went Clawbringer Graveborn, was for the companion damage and everything too. Having 2 pets and then the Hydra heads and all that other stuff. It's good stuff. Did I went down again? Am I gonna lose another life because I went elite here? That sucks. But I'm looking forward to playing through as a Graveborn as my primary, because I really like the Graveborn class from this build.
Can't get rid of me that easy. Can't do it.
But I think my next one will be a Berserker, because I want to have one. I want to have one of each. And rumor is that we're getting a 7th character class next week. I don't know if that's you're kidding me, right?
Hardly a challenge. Ha! Just like I planned. Wanna cross places?
We haven't seen what class it is, but I want to see what it is. Oh, I got a drop there. I heard it. That hurt. But it's only a legendary. It's not a big one. Let's see what he dropped. An undying universal soldier of heroism. I can do this all day. That is a Captain America reference, everybody. Season pass, yeah, I think so. Wonderland's games are known for their pop culture references, so I can do this all day as a reference to his. Ooh, that is a good. Ooh, 30% gun damage and 25% Graveborn power. I'm gonna keep that. That's a great piece of equipment for a Graveborn. But anyway, they're known for their pop culture references, and that's clearly a Captain America reference. I can do this all day as his one of his catchphrases from the movies. That was hard, so I'm not going to make it any harder. Yeah, I don't either, but the gun damage and the Graveborn power I like. Melee in this game is a little weird. A lot of people who are into Borderlands 3 have told me they don't like the melee in Wonderlands. I'm not a big melee person to begin with. I prefer to shoot things. But that's just my opinion. I thought this would do more damage as a chaotic, but it's really not.
Some of the red stuff.
And I am on single beam, so it should be dealing out. Oh, what hit me? I think I got seppuku'd. And this build is based off the fact that my two little guys are running around killing stuff the entire time, so not as much about the damage that my character dishes out, although when I break out the hammer, it does a lot of damage. I don't know how this is going to end up. And the mimics are back. Okay. So they're going to drop a lot of good stuff here, because mimics drop a lot of loot.
Trust me, friend. Don't want to stick around. Did I forget to clear my bullets?
I just nearly killed that mimic right there with my hammer. It's good stuff. Cleared the encounter. And there's going to be a lot of loot for us to pick up with those mimics. Oh, didn't mean to pick that up, but that's okay. And we are still looting for money because of SDU upgrades. That's your upgrades for your ammo consumption, your ammo bags and backpacks and stuff. So if it seems like, hey, why is he still going for money? That the reason why is because I haven't maxed out all the bank slots or anything yet. So that's what we're doing. Trust in magic or break it up. We're gonna go trust in magic. Get out the good gun. And this should be the last run of Parasite, because now that it's 10 Central, we should see a change in the featured run. The gimmick to this gun is the more criticals I hit, it's just a bullet hose. As long as I'm hitting crits, nothing happen. I never have to reload it, or it never breaks or anything. So, unless I go down.
That one's mine. Don't touch that loot.
Luckily, Parasite is not that difficult.
We've got an easy mark over here. Crack some skulls. Finally, that pulled out. Hey!
There we go. He dropped something, but it's not chaotic. Wizard's Pipe. Actually, I used that. Basically, Borderlands games, when you're first starting them, you have to scrounge for everything. So you use what you're given. Once you get later on in the game and you're got a huge bank full of things and you've maxed everything out, you'll start farming for gear that you put away for other characters. And we have 3,300 crystals. That's pretty good. So a week from today, the new DLC hits. It's storyline DLC. I think it's really smart that they're doing it that way. No legendaries from that.
What's the most broken build I can make?
It's broken. We get a lot of pulls here. And they're adding new legendary types, or new legendary... Okay, there's a legendary, but it's not chaotic or volatile. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, well, let's see. Still looking for better shields, too. 2 legendary drops there. Nothing. Wow, okay. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. But, they're adding 2 new rarities. If you take a look at my gun here, it's a chaotic. It says right there above the inspiring liquid cooling of impatience. I just realized that's not the strongest version of this gun. That might be why. Let's put that back in the bank. Yeah, Pokemon's fun. Where's the one that's... Yeah, let's take that one. Re-equip that. There you go. Yeah, none of that stuff's chaotic. My 3DS is up there. I haven't turned it on in a long time. I know if Sarah / Blazing Potatoes has her way, she'll come steal it because it's the Majora's Mask one. And hers was stolen from her. So she really wants my Majora's Mask 3DS, and I have refused to give it to her.
Are you prepared? We'll see.
Let's quit the game and see if the hot fixes are applied. Recently sold 2 items. Okay, doesn't say. Okay, let's say I'm offline. Campaign. Shift code. Okay. Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate it for you being here. I really do appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for lurking, and it was very nice meeting you. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Sometimes those batteries just go dead. Enchanted on cast increase frost damage for 5 seconds. Okay. Dark magic for 5 seconds. That's not what I wanted to do. You can get other styluses.
Somebody looking at us? I'll bite 'em!
See how that turns out. Well, thank you, George. I appreciate that. I got to go through and see. I get so many follows from like graphic design artists on Twitter that I'm not as good of doing that as I should be. Because boy, oh boy, do I get a lot of those. My inbox on Twitter is so uh, heavy towards
That one's mine.
GFX artists.
Touch that boot. Nicely done.
I'll have to fix that myself. But I'll get up in the morning and look to see, it'll say like, oh, you have 20 new people following you, and I'll look at it and it'll be 18 of them will be graphic design artists, 15 of which have messaged me while I was asleep, asking me if they can design graphics for me. And I'm such a nice guy about things, I don't want to tell people off. I just kind of want everyone to, I know they're just trying to do a job, but they are everywhere. I'm convinced that most of them are from the same company or the same people, because they reuse a lot of the same words.
Every map is a treasure map.
Yeah, if you once you hit Twitch affiliate, it's like vultures circling a carcass in the desert. It's just they know it's a matter of time till one of them gets you. But I'll get yeah, some are bots, but a lot of them I think are like I said are the same people because they'll tell me that they all tell me they want to design me dope graphics. They always use the word dope. So it's like you guys are all the same people because no one uses the word dope that much. And they're all exceedingly good-looking girls between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. And that means they're really not.
Ready to cast.
Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it so much. I still don't tell any of them off, though. I just kind of... I just don't. I tried flirting with one once to see if that would get them to leave me alone, and actually all they do is they flirt back. So it's really not worth it. Oh, come on. Don't destroy Butt Stallion. But yeah, that's you just got to be careful. And like I said, I'm just trying to be nice to everybody, but I've gotten to the point now I just ignore them because it's my inbox is flooded with those things. And the weird thing is I'm convinced that most of them are the same people. So why would 15 people from the same area try to? Are they hoping that one of their profile pictures will make me want to hang out with them or something? Let's do this one. Well, a friend of mine let me on the fact that if I do need graphic design, to go to Etsy and find someone rather than do random stuff on random people on Twitter. It's cheaper actually. So I was like, ah, that's a good idea. Didn't even think of that. But when I decide I want more graphics designed at some point, you know, when they start making money doing this, we'll do that. Come on, baby.
What a kill! I'm so proud. No shame in losing to the best.
That was weird. I thought I saw. Yep. Gotta go over here. Only problem with having companions is they kill stuff all over the place, and I don't know where they've killed things. So sometimes you gotta take a look around to make sure they didn't leave any crystals or anything laying around. Looks like we got everything. Thank you for the lurk, Amanda. Time for some pigwort. Come on, trolls, go down. There we go. Oh! Oh! Yeah, this is a much better pistol because it's 2 ammo per shot, so it does twice as much damage.
We work this out so we all walk away. Rich.
Oh, where he ran off to.
On to the next one.
Ah, thank you so much. There we go. A lot of BAs here. There he is. Pigwort's out now. We got a mythic rank. He went immune on me. Where'd he go? There we go. Mythic rank is, we're getting fire damage like crazy. The only one thing I'm not really sold on in this game yet is the melee. I haven't invested a lot in melee. Even though I have this really awesome sword that shoots out lightning bats or whatever it is. Taking a look around to make sure I have nothing. Searing Tether or Nasty Spill. I always take Nasty Spill. Good morning, Lucky. How you doing, buddy? Alright, another Dragon Lord statue. Got it.
What's wrong, a tree?
Well, you've been working a lot, so I get it. At least you're off tomorrow. Three-day weekend for you.
You should have ducked. Blocked or I don't know.
Are you kidding me? There we go. I figured that's what I was waiting on, was for one of my minions to kill something else. What I'm really looking for is one of those liquid cooling as a volatile version. I have not had the opportunity to get one of those yet. I would really like one. Hopefully, I have a feeling once I get one of those, this part of the game will be a lot easier. Now, I have to take a drink. Thanks for being here, Joshua. You have a good night, buddy. Joshua, Drizzling Bear is in Malaysia. So it's actually, while it's 10:30 here, I think it's 10:30 there, but in PM. Where are you guys gonna go? Or are you just gonna hang out at home? A minute left. We can do this. Yeah, see, he's an hour. He's 13 hours ahead. So he's going to sleep. Hours ahead of me. I knew you were on the other side, so I knew you were pretty close to being 12 hours ahead. Okay, don't. What are you doing? Luckily, that's not going to count against our death right there. That does not count against us because nothing really killed us. DOT killed us. The game is pretty forgiving in that area. It's very forgiving in that area. So we still have 3 lives. There was something up here, wasn't there? Besides my dead body? Nope, nothing. And I think we're okay. So we're going to hit this. I'm sure it's good, Lucky. I don't know if I like this build yet or not. I kind of like it, but I know that I need to farm for gear. I need gear like crazy.
For it. Well, yeah.
Dang it! Thought I had him. Is it going to count against me or not? Because my minions... It didn't count against me. That's great. I love it. Yeah, I don't have a fear knot. I don't think I've seen one. At least not that I remember. Look at all this stuff. For me, I'd love to have a volatile version of this pistol. I have a feeling I would really wreck some stuff if I had it. But I have not gotten close to it. I have some chaotic versions, but no volatile. Because this pistol is the real deal. Reminds me of the Tizzy. Y'all can see this. I don't have to take my finger off the trigger at all. That was just one long, consistent. If you get a volatile version, that'd be great. But volatiles only drop. It's a 1.4% drop chance on the highest difficulty setting, and you can't get it unless you are on Chaos 20. And even then, it's like I said, it's a 1.41% chance or something like that to get it. It's kind of crazy. Wow, there's some legendaries. What do we got here? Warriors Warped, Pegram of the Shooting Star, Berserker, and Clawbringer. I will keep that. Vibing Bad Egg. I haven't even seen the Bad Egg before. Still trying to get a good pistol. Chaotic liquid cooling of impatience. Chaotic, not the other one that I wanted. I'll keep it though, because it is a good gun. That's just legendary. He is not dropping anything. That's another legendary, but it's not the good kind. Let's see, it's not chaotic. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Gluttony is a Full Metal Alchemist reference. Let me take a look at that. That's Rioting Gluttony of the Carver Equivalent Exchange. Yes, it is a Full Metal Alchemist reference. Because the Gluttony is one of the homunculi in that, one of the bad guys, and Equivalent Exchange is from Full Metal Alchemist. So that's what that is. I've heard it's a pretty decent gun, but... Hi, Whiskey. What are you doing, boy? Whiskey? Alright. So we did get a chaotic pistol, a chaotic liquid cooling. We got a chaotic.
Hey, hey, there's my little beast of
Put that in the
burden.
bank. I'll keep that
Thanks
too,
for
just in
coming.
case.
Oh, I'm not keeping you from something, am I? Of course not.
It's not chaotic
You
though.
what?
Task managed. Auto magic. That's got to be a Harry Potter reference then. Auto magic EXE of the ghost. That's probably a Harry Potter reference. And burn down the walls that bind you to this cage. I'm not entirely certain what that's a reference to. Marshmallow the Reaper, guys. That is a Stay Puft. That's a Ghostbusters reference. That's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Something that would never ever possibly destroy us. Love it. That's Ghostbusters. The bad egg. The Skuck's life chose us. Okay. Oh, wait. Fear not. But there's no pixies with it. We are making a lot of money doing this too. $3.2 million. Pretty good for getting more SDU upgrades. Ninny. Okay, so we've done that for a while. The this gun, I'm trying to get a. It was a crossbow one, but it didn't have pixies. It just said "Fear not." It said nothing about pixies on it.
Ready to cast.
Plus, it wasn't even chaotic, so it's just decent. It's. And then you have chaotics that are good, and then volatiles that are excellent. At least for now. So let's transfer our rear end. Oh, by the way, the luck thing is just cosmetic. This is where you can farm that pistol I'm looking for. The only problem is that again it's a very low drop chance. So 1.4% I believe according to the thing. So we take a look at our chaos mode here. 28.17% chance for chaotic gear, 1.41% chance of a volatile gear. Basically that means that if something is going to drop, there's a 28% chance it's going to drop chaotically, and if there's a 1% chance it'll drop volatile. You don't have a chance that it doesn't change from that, at least not yet, until we can get to higher difficulty levels. But chaos chamber levels. But that's basically what that means. So if you're looking at, let's just say the gun I'm looking for has a 5% drop rate. That means that 5 out of 100 times it'll drop, and out of those 5 times it has a 28% chance to drop for me chaotically, and volatile it has a 1% chance to drop that way. So do the math on that, how rare it is to get volatile gear, and then you'll see why the farm has been so crazy. And I killed that snake lady that drops the liquid cooling probably 100 times yesterday and didn't get one. I got one piece of volatile legendary gear, and it was a spell. Gelatinous cube spell, I believe. So go figure. This is the obelisk. She pops out of there. First we have to whoop up on the bad guys around here. I wonder what we're gonna do for lunch today. I'm hungry. I have to think about that. Anyway, so we are, once we do kill enough of these guys, that obelisk will burst open. And I believe they're called the Coiled. Snake Lady pops out of there. There it goes. It's about to pop open now. I killed her, but she didn't drop anything. And then all I did yesterday was I looted everything. I transported back to Brighthoof. Sold off everything for SDU possible upgrades, and then transferred back. Once you transport to Brighthoof, everything resets here. It just completely reloads the area. So, yes, you have a town portal. It's unlimited town portal, but if you do it right before a boss, it will, unless there's a spot right there, it'll bring you back to an area where you might have to do some fighting again. So. There we go. So we can just transport ourselves back to Brighthoof. Or Brighthoof, depending on your pronunciation. Sell all the stuff. And there we go. Back in. And we get to kill them all over again. Because of course we do. Why not? That's what we do here. But she drops this liquid cooling pistol.
Time for a spell.
That's the dedicated drop for it. And it's, as people are starting to learn what dedicated drops drop where, I'll probably do some research on that. And I really want to know shield or ward. I want to know what the best wards of the game are. Because the wards are where, you know, my Amara build that I used, the ward I used was so nasty for Borderlands 3. With the correct anointment on it, it was a bread and butter thing. Just so bread and butter. And I want to know what's really good here. I want to get the good stuff, you know. I want to have the best build, and the shield was just as big of a build as the weapons were. So there she goes. Garbage. She dropped nothing. Liquid cooling is, for my money right now, it's the best weapon in the game, from what I've seen. Uh, I really want a volatile version of it. I think that if I can, I stream off of a Mac actually. MacBook is what I stream off of. This lovely piece of machinery right here I'm using to stream off of is my MacBook Pro, and it works pretty well. Now that I got it to stream properly. Otherwise, I used to do things just off of the PlayStation software. We should get a mythic rank this time. Yeah, you know, I'm in a group chat with some folks, small streamers on Twitter, and it was when I first joined it. There was this kid that was in there that was so upset that I was on a Mac, and I was like, well, who cares? And he was just so dead set against it, and I was like, does it matter what I'm on? Do you do you use what you want to use? I'm not telling you you have to use a Mac. I use a Mac. But he was, I say a kid because he had to be a kid because he cared so much about it over something so superficial. It just wasn't that big of a deal to me. Game what you want to game on as far as I'm concerned. There's Happy Cup. Welcome back, buddy. And there's our mark. She dropped something, but it's not chaotic or volatile. You can just tell by the sound it made when it dropped, it wasn't what I really wanted. Are those Baby Yoda emotes? That's pretty awesome. I always look at that gaming should bring everybody together and not divide folks. Critical chance, melee damage, critical damage. Let's do it one at a time, I guess. I tell people I was a PC guy for a while. As far as I've never really been a big PC gamer, but I owned PCs for a long time, and then Windows 8 happened, and it just so happened I was just about to go back to college, and when Windows 8 came out, and I used a Windows 8 laptop and went, oh my God, this is the worst thing of all time. So I went and got a Mac, and I've had a MacBook ever since. So
Ready to cast.
I realize now that the Windows 10 is better than Windows 8 and all that good stuff. But I'm so far down the rabbit hole now with using Macs. One day though, I will get if I can turn streaming into a thing, I will definitely get a streaming PC, a tower for it. But that's way down the line. I have I have a lot of growing to do before I could afford to invest like that. It seems like every 4 times it brings me back to the beginning of the stage. I don't know why it does that.
My faithful minion has arrived. You should have ducked, blocked, or I don't know, not died.
No, it died. I remember I was standing in the Best Buy, and this is back when Best Buy could afford to have. They actually had an Apple kiosk and they had a Windows kiosk. Nowadays, you're lucky if you can get someone to help you in any of those places. You know, they have one guy working all their computer stuff, or one girl working all their computer stuff. And I was standing there looking at which MacBook I wanted, and the guy from the Windows pavilion kiosk came over, and was talking to me about buying a Windows computer. And so he's basically trying to poach me away from the Apple guy. And I was like, no, I don't want it. I don't want a Windows laptop. And so he's standing behind me. I remember he was a big heavyset guy, and he was standing behind me. And I said, "This one looks really good. I like this. What this one is." And the dude says to me, "But it doesn't have a touchscreen." And I said, "You're right, and I don't care about that. I have a Mac. I have an iPad." And that's when the guy totally turned his back. I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever," and realized he was ticking me off, and that's when he walked away. That's the thing about it's. I tried back in the day. I'm a little older of a gamer than most people are. It was early '90s. I tried to do PC gaming. I tried to make that a thing for me and do a lot of PC gaming. And I can remember my parents getting me this new tower. We spent $2,000 on this brand new PC tower, and I could play Diablo on it when Diablo came out, and I was so happy I could play Diablo. I was like, oh, I could finally play Diablo, and it was just so awesome that I could play Diablo. And then that next November, a game came, Nocturne. I think it was called Nocturne. Came out on PC, and I bought it. And this was only like 6 months after we just bought this brand new $2,000 computer, and the computer couldn't run it because the technology was moving so fast in the 90s that I couldn't. We just couldn't keep up. That you buy a computer and it's obsolete the second you get it out the door. And after that, I just kind of swore off a lot of PC gaming. I couldn't do it. So I've always been console, but when people tell me those stories about it, and to get a good video card now is shoot, they're not cheap. I mean you buy a console, you can buy 2 consoles for some of those things that they sell them for. So, but I've always been the type of person that says you should game how you want to game. I don't think anyone is any less of a gamer if they play on PC, Mac, console, phone, iPad, Windows, Surface. You know, game how you want to game. Gaming is supposed to bring us all together for the enjoyment of the whole thing, and yeah. I just want everyone to be happy and game how you want to game, and someone who games on their phone and plays Pokemon Go is no less of a gamer than I am, in my opinion. And I know that PC gaming has gotten a lot more stable. I should preface that by saying that nowadays you can go buy a good PC, and there's not a lot of games out there that are going to be out of your price range or out of your power range on PC. I do know that. So I'm not opposed to ever doing PC gaming ever again. I just early 90s really left a nasty taste in my mouth, and that's why I've always been, you know, consoles ever, you know, I was consoles before and I've been consoles ever since. But who knows? We'll see. Maybe one of these days I'll get a computer and I'll do MMOs. I'll do what Asmongold does or something and play World of Warcraft, because it'll probably still be going on in 30 years. I play a couple of free-to-play games on my iPad, but
My spell is ready.
I'm not a huge gamer on that thing. Well, hello, Evil Nico. Yeah, I said one of these days I might get a PC and do MMO gaming. We'll see. You do? Is it Lost Ark? I actually played Final Fantasy 14 for a while. I'm an old school Final Fantasy fanatic. Love Final Fantasy games. At least the older ones. The newer ones, but I played 14 for a while, and I had a Dragoon that was max level at the time, and I just didn't play it enough, so I quit. But I think I think I still have access to that if I ever wanted to get back into it. But I did like it. Final Fantasy 14 is a very interesting dilemma of a game. Because when it first came out, it was a pile of donkey trash. It was horrible. And level 80. I think my character was level 50, so that must have increased the level cap 30 levels a long time ago. But it was so bad when they brought it out, so they had to do something to save it. So they brought in a whole new development team. They basically cleared house of the old development staff, brought in someone completely different to run it, and reinvented the whole game. I mean, you want to talk about how many ways that should not have worked. But they completely reinvented the game. They made it playable, and it's really good. You are correct. Final Fantasy 14 is fantastic. It's got stuff for new players. It's got stuff for old players. I was walking around with the Magitech armor on. Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 3 US is my favorite game ever. And when I knew I could get Magitech armor in that, I was like, oh my god, love it, love it, love it, love it. Love Final Fantasy. I've played all the Final Fantasies, and I will tell you that I'm kind of a snob in it because there's a lot of bad Final Fantasy games out there. I thought 13 was horrible. 15 was mediocre. You know, it wasn't that good. It was okay. It wasn't worth all the hubbubaloo they put behind it. I know they have 16 coming out eventually, and I'm looking forward to playing it, but I don't expect it to be anything. The last really good one to me was, I liked 12 quite a bit, but probably the really good last one I played was 10.
Looking charming as ever, bonehead.
10 and 9. 9 is an excellent Final Fantasy game.
Well, that went about as I expected.
That's when I did World of Warcraft for a while. That's what I would do. Is I hunted for epic mounts. That's all I did was go around and run around and try to get all the epic mounts that I could. I think that's the best thing to do in those games. I wonder. I'm sure my Final Fantasy 14 character is low powered now, but at the time he was max. Sorry, I always make girl characters in those games. She was max level, and but she was getting some artifact armor, I think it was. Black Pegasus.
Nicely done.
They could have made a lot of mistakes with Final Fantasy XIV, and they did. But you want to talk about pulling the nose up on a game? Usually, when a game releases like that, it's a death sentence. But nope. Square Enix took that and made it into the exception and not the rule. I can't tell you how many MMOs I played where you could just tell they weren't going to last because of how bad they were. They were launched in such a bad state.
Look out!
Still nothing. See, that's the thing is right now it's not about what's happening with game publishing right now is it's no longer about having packaged product. I have my room here. I have tons of packaged products, and I will go to my grave defending the rights of physical media. But the truth is that I know I'm fighting a losing battle on that, and eventually everything's going to be digital. Gaming companies are now trying to get it to where you will keep something on your hard drive because they know once you delete it off, the chances of you putting it back on are slim. So that's what the fight's going to be for the next. Yes, I do. I am wearing bunny ears for Easter. I wear them today. I wore them yesterday, today, and I'll wear them tomorrow. Got to do something for Easter, you know. But that's going to be the big fight for future gaming right now is keeping things installed on your hard drive, at least until cloud gaming becomes an actual thing. That's cloud gaming is going to have to be where hard drive space is no longer necessary. But then that's where subscriptions take place, and then it'll be interesting to see where gaming is in the next 20 years. My girlfriend brought me these ears the other day and said you should wear these on stream, and I said yes I should. So here they are. Ooh gosh. I had a Santa hat during Christmas, and I had a hat I wore for St. Patrick's Day, and I think I had, can't remember if I had something for for Valentine's Day or not, but I try to wear funny things around the holidays. For the stream, for the entertainment purposes of things. Nothing wrong with Pokemon hats. You can get those things like crazy. I've been to conventions before where people made, they hand sewed their own Pokemon hats. It was the detail was amazing on those things too. You could see they had the Pikachus and the Jigglypuffs and Squirtles and Charizards.
I can cast again.
Oh crap. Didn't mean to throw my hammer at the vending machine. Back in my con days when I used to go to cons all the time. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that. If a local con brings in somebody I want to see or something, I'll probably go, but or if I had some friends that wanted to go. A friend of mine that I have around here who comes on the stream every once in a while, she wants someone to take her to a con, so I might take her to one, but that's my days of planning things around cons. I don't do that anymore. I used to make all my plans around conventions, or I'd say, oh well, I can't do anything for this because I have to save money for the con the next month, or this is happening, I'm going to be at the con. Oh gosh. My minions just completely vaporized the coiled girl. Which cons do you go to, Nico? I live outside of Chicago, so I used to go to like Wizard World and C2E2 and Anime Central.
Magic time.
Liquid cooling, but it's not a good liquid cooling. And that's chaotic. Inquisitor's corrupted plate mail of the unyielding blow. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Fate Maker's damage dealt to Darkman. Let's try that and see how it works. My problem with the con scene, at least when I used to go, the last couple I've been to, they were very... It wasn't about being a fan. It was more about making a statement. So there were some really odd things at these cons that the last couple I'd been to, and welcome back, Amanda. Oh, cool. The last one I went to, I got to meet Melissa Benoist. I went there to get her autograph for my two nieces. But there were just some folks that acted really, really poorly at the con, and I kind of got turned off by it. So I don't go to a lot of them anymore. If I were to go to one, it would be something like C2E2 or Wizard World, because those are more a wider net of fandom, because it's not just based off of anime. It's also, you know, comic books and Star Wars and Star Trek and all, you know, classic stuff that I grew up with. So that would probably, if I ever go to one again, it'll be something like that. Rita Repulsa, right? I remember Rita Repulsa.
Oh, don't you look feisty?
Yeah. They brought her over from Japan. Power Rangers MorphCon. Part of me has always wanted to go to Star Wars Celebration, but I have a feeling I wouldn't have a very good time at that, because I haven't been happy with Star Wars in the last several years, so I probably wouldn't be as into that. I used to know a lot of people that were higher ups at Funimation. I could have made that happen. but they all left. So unfortunately, I don't. I know he still does work with Funimation, but I don't have any ins there anymore. So I used to have this friend of mine that used to work for me. I had gone to a con and he was there. Sabat was there, and I had him autograph something from Dragon Ball Z. I'm never a Dragon Ball Z guy, but yeah. Hey, you're allowed to feel that way. We all have our itches that need scratching. I get it. So I had him sign this thing, and I gave it to my friend who was a big Dragon Ball Z fan, and he lost his mind. That he was so happy that he's like, dude, this is so awesome. He drew Godzilla, or was he known for doing it? There was a Godzilla animated series back in the day, believe it or not. Hanna-Barbera did it, if I'm not mistaken. I used to watch it when I was a kid.
This is a bloody detailed map now that I look at it. How the hell do they chart all this?
That is the imp. Okay. Yeah, you can send it to me. I'll look at it. Artwork, I always have told people, because I know an artist. I've known a artist or two in my day. To
Oh yeah.
really get your art across, it has to look unique.
Hey, hey, there's my little beast of burning.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Dolly Girl's is a real friend of mine. She and I, we go way back. Some of the money, I wish I had money. I wish I would have kept some of the money I spent in some of those conventions, that's for certain. Oh yeah, in the game, heck yes. I wish money was as easy to make as it is in this game. I gotta save it for STU upgrades, but yeah. My Amara in Borderlands 3 has billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in that game. I'll help anybody out any way I can. But I am still trying to get SDU upgrades.
So proud. I can't tickle.
I didn't even... I am not bad at Borderlands 3. My Amara is pretty good.
My faithful minion has arrived.
Yeah, you can give money out in these games. That is another... It looks like it's chaotic. I don't know what it is though. Let's see what it is. It is a chaotic ring. Allie's thumb cuffs of the wily fox. Companion damage goes up 17.1%. Companion critical hit damage goes up 14. SMG assault rifle. While in a dungeon, effects are increased by 25%. Let me see what rings I have equipped. That's ability damage, and that's gun damage. I will use that. Because that bumps up companion damage. STU? I'm getting chaotic drops, but I want volatile drops. Lucky you're not bad at Borderlands 3. You know better than that. Ain't no one buying that from you.
Let's go out and burn something down.
Oh, SDU. Yes, SDU upgrades. Storage deck upgrades. Basically, money, gold in this game is used to buy your ammo and backpack and bank upgrades. So, if we take a look at what I've got here. I haven't played Borderlands 3 in a while myself. I've maxed out pistol. But I have $5.5 million bucks, but I still need to max out my backpack and my banks. I need millions of dollars. Lost Loot's another one I need. There's just a lot of stuff I still need to upgrade. So it might seem like I'm hoarding a lot of money, but I'm really not, because as soon as I'm able to upgrade parts of the bank, I do it. Especially the bank. The bank is the most important thing, so I can hang on to stuff for other characters. Because your bank is universal across all your whole account. So my Spore Warden has complete access to everything that's in the bank right now from this character. All I gotta do is load her up, go over there, and start taking stuff out. And when I load her up next, I will, because there's stuff in there that I want my Spore Warden to use. Look at you. You got someone who gave you a bunch of money. No one's given me any money in this. This has all been me. Done it all myself.
Glowing.
Of course, I haven't played online on this yet either. That's why I want to get all my stuff before I start. I don't want to be a hindrance to people, but I'm not bad. I'm doing all right considering. Here comes this. Wow, she did not last long at all. This new gear is really doing pretty well.
I showed them how to do that.
The last boss, he's not that hard. I mean, he's depending on when you take him on, but chaotic. It's liquid cooling, but it is not chaotic. Or volatile. I would shoot, level it's easy to get to level 40 before you beat the game. That's simple to do. Both of my characters were level 40 before I started that. Not difficult at all.
Did you bring me anything? No, that's fine. The smile's
I
all
really want to know seriously what the power means, because we look at, where does it say it? My Graveborn power and my Clawbringer power up there. 63.3% extra Clawbringer power, 17.1% Graveborn power. I want to know what that means. Because it just says that they're more powerful. Well, what does that mean that they're more powerful? I want numbers behind that to find out what it means that my Clawbringer power is plus 68%. I want to know, does that mean all the skills are upgraded by 68%? Does that mean that my hammer is 68% more damage, and my companion does 68% more, my wyvern does 68% more damage? I want to know that stuff.
looking charming as ever, bonehead.
Just your action skills go up. So my hammer does 68% more damage.
I know what it is.
What is it?
You're 68% more likely to be bought by Elon Musk.
That's correct. I'm 68% more likely to be bought by Elon Musk. I'm like Twitter. For those who don't know, Elon Musk is trying to purchase 100% of Twitter. Lucky says hi. She says hello.
Just say, a lifetime of experience, fellas. You're welcome.
Got you there. She is the boss, that's true. Okay. You're looking at me and I'm trying to figure out what you're looking at me for. Alright. So I'm glad I got a chaotic version of this White Rider. It's actually pretty good for randos. That's what we got this morning by doing one of the Chaos Chambers. Not bad at all. But it doesn't... I've yet to find a gun that I think is really... I mean, if you guys ever played 3, you know, the Free Radical or the Plasma Coil, those things have evaporated health bars. They've couple of shots and they were and enemies on the highest difficulty were dead. I haven't found anything like that in this game yet. Maybe that's something else I need to do, is do some more research on what the best weapons are. Find out where they drop. Got another mythic rank, that's good. And we also got a mythic rank, so that's going to put that into reload speed. I'm just continually going to build all that extra stuff up. That was volatile. Okay, just so you guys can see that. That's a volatile ring. And so that's the highest rarity you can get of something at this point. Now, next week, they're adding apparently 2 more rarities to this. It's only a blue, so it's only rare. But it is, that same ring drops chaotically and it drops base gamely. And the volatile version drops 40%, 41% more powerful than it would as a base game item. So the volatile is the best to get. But unfortunately, that's only a blue. So my legendary rings are better than that ring. There's no sense in me upgrading to that because it's not an upgrade, it's a downgrade. So we are getting volatile gear, but it's not legendary gear. It's just blue, which we can't really use. I did get a volatile spell yesterday afternoon, but it was the gelatinous cube spell, which is a Wayne's World reference. All these games have. This game has a lot of pop culture references. You just have to kind of
Ready to cast.
find out what they are, and if you recognize them right away, you know it. But like that, Silence by the Solar Winds. I don't know quite what that means, and I don't know quite what that means either. For now, you never can tell. They might add a legendary version of that pistol or something. There's a legendary gun in Borderlands that shoots freaking hamburgers, for crying out loud, and another one that shoots tires. So it wouldn't be on the realm of speculation that legendary guns will shoot pixies.
Ready to crack some skulls? Awaits offensive.
But this is, when I first started Borderlands 3 stuff, this is what I did, guys. I actually went around and I farmed as much legendaries as I could. And I had a bank, a big bank, so when I started other characters, I could just pull stuff out at will.
Way to finish them off.
Plus, they always do, every Thursday they do a hot fix right now, and if they do the same thing they did with Borderlands 3, they're going to balance, for a while, they're going to balance weapons every week. And if that's how they're going to handle it, you could see weapons that you think suck right now being insanely powerful in a week because of the buff. So, try not to sleep on anything right now until they get the game balanced to the way that they want it. They did that for over a year with Borderlands 3. Every week they would be. I looked at it as a. You would wake up and you'd see the hot fixes, and they would have buffed up. When they buffed up the Hellwalker, for instance, the Hellwalker shotgun, everybody wanted to go out and find Hellwalker shotguns, and then they buffed the Trevornator, and then I mean, it was just, they would buff something to where it was insanely powerful, and that's what the flavor of the week was. You'd go hunt for it and take them, get as many of them as you could, and try to find one with the right annoyance and all that. And like I said, they did that for a year. They didn't stop that probably until, what, 6 or 8 months ago, I think it was. They finally said, guys, we finally got to a point where we can stop balancing weapons. But just because you have the flavor of the week right now doesn't mean that next week it's still going to be the best weapon.
Burn something down. Thanks for.
And the way that Gearbox does their DLCs is, in order to get you, to entice you to buy it, they're going to do what they can to put new weapons in there and new rarities and things to make sure you go in there, you buy it, to get those weapons to make your character more powerful. So don't be surprised if next week the new DLC comes out and all of a sudden we have a whole list of legendaries that are actually better. Would not shock me at all. And if you go back and look at any of the best weapons in Borderlands 3, I would probably say, with the exception of only one that I can think of off the top of my head, which is the Monarch, everything else, all the other best weapons in the game are somehow tied to a downloadable content package.
Come on, you can do better than that, surely. Way to finish him off.
Well, we're taking her down quick. She has no chance. But, she's not dropping anything. Luckily, though, 6 million bucks. We're getting up there with the money again. I want to say the Monarch is the only base game weapon that is still considered really top tier. And that's a base game weapon. They added it later, but you don't have to have bought any of the downloadable contents to get it. You have to work your butt off to get it, but it's still there in the base game. And then if you look at the top pistols, the top SMGs, the top shotguns. Well, shotguns, no. Shotguns, you know, the Hellwalker's still a base game weapon. Trevenator's a base game weapon. So there's two guns that I can think of that you don't have to purchase DLCs to actually get. But the best SMGs, the best pistols, the best sniper rifles, the best rocket launchers, they're all tied to DLC. And I heard it put that by one YouTuber who had said that it was fan service, that they were giving fan service out via DLC. That's why they did it. And I was like, no, they did it because they want you to buy the DLCs. That's the entire reason they do it. A lot of people buy DLCs to enjoy the story, like I do, and that sort of thing. Other people want to go in and loot all the weapons and see which of the weapons are perform the best with which builds. So my Moe's build, for instance, on Borderlands 3 uses the flipper, like, and that is a SMG from DLC 3, and that's all she uses. Is I have 3 flippers on equipped on her, each one with different loadout of elements. And that's all she needs. And you know, my Amara uses primarily the plasma coil, which is another SMG from the last DLC package, or the second last DLC package. So don't look at it as fan service. Look at it as they want you to. How they're going to get you to buy the DLC? They want you to entice you with better weapons. And I still want to see what the new character class is for this that they're supposedly releasing, because I have not seen it. Got you. Got you. She dropped a legendary, but it doesn't look like it's a chaotic one. Or volatile, either. Good morning, Darth Blaze. How you doing, buddy? It's still morning for the next 30 minutes. Another liquid cooling, but it's just a base game liquid cooling. So she's dropping liquid cooling, but not exactly the one that I want. The good news, though, is that we've gotten some stuff that's really upgraded our character. I am doing just lovely today. Thank you so much. Doing great. Doing great. Had a great night's sleep. I've had some pretty decent drops so far doing this farm, where we've upgraded our character a little bit, and
I can cast again.
it's a little cool outside today, but you know, that's Chicago for you. Yesterday it was in the mid 60s. It was really nice, and today it's going to be cold. So, go figure. That's Chicago for you. Chicago takes the weather and make the weather bad, and since you will have no choice but to put on the coats, and nothing you can do about it.
My spell is ready.
I haven't seen any of the notes for the new hotfix. When I go to lunch, I'll look to see what they actually did with today's hotfix. Because the last one was pretty significant. They buffed all the shotguns, and they buffed COV assault rifles, and some other stuff. But Sequoia National Forest. Sequoia. I don't think they're going to adjust the drops at all. I've heard that loot luck is bugged. So I don't think loot luck is working as they intended it to, so they'll probably adjust that at some point. Hopefully a little bit here. But from what I understand, they're trying to make Legendary special. And in Borderlands 3, they weren't really special.
I feel magical.
Bear Ash is a good guy. He probably thinks you're a girl, though. That's Bear likes girls. Oh, Bear's a good dude. He really is. Yes. I know you're not a girl. I don't think Bear's actually ever sent me a friend request on Twitch, so... You caught the apple of his eye there, I don't know.
The magic begin.
See, it sends me all the way back here for some reason. I don't know why it does that every, like, 3 or 4 times. It sends me back to the beginning of the stage. Yeah, I think it was, what was it, last week? I was talking to Amanda, and Bear Ash comes in, and he's like, "Oh, hi, Dolly girl," and he was very attentive to her. Yep, I knew that was going to happen. Bear's got game. I tell you, I watch him do it. He's something else. He's a special guy. I think what they're going to do is they're going to continually up the difficulty with Chaos Chambers, and I don't know if that's going to be the best route for them to go with this. It seems to be like right now the max is Chaos 20. If every time they release a DLC they're just going to up the difficulty of the Chaos Chamber, I don't think that's going to be a really good way for them to go. Because people are going to hit a brick wall with playing it. Because it'll eventually get so hard that a lot of people, unless you are able to farm and have the absolute creme de la creme of gear, it's not going to... They'll get tired and they'll stop playing because there will be no way for them to really grow. What hit me? Twice. Crap and a hat. That sucks. I guess it was going to happen eventually.
I wonder where the best place to bury the loot is.
That's going to cost me 100 grand right there.
Live, die, live again.
Yeah, that sucked.
Back again? Thought I'd escape my creditors for sure this time.
I should have just stayed on her, I guess. Even though she didn't drop anything. I have a feeling they're going to have to do something with loot luck, though. It's just... I don't see how I could have the highest base loot luck in the game and have such crappy drops. But...
Back in business.
makes me wonder about people who don't have as high loot luck, what their chances are. Actually, Bear is playing. Bear Ash is playing. He's already streaming. I haven't raided him this week. When I'm done, I might just raid him. Hang out with Bear for a little while. Yeah, so guys, if my goals are still going here, I need 70 more follows this month to hit 500 on Twitch. That's my goal for the month of April. My Twitter, if I haven't hit it already, I probably will here really soon. 900 followers on Twitter. And then still need 37 more subs this month for my goal. So of course that's going to be the hardest one to get. Thanks to those who have subbed. I do appreciate it so much. Very special thanks to folks like Jinxed and Blaze Potatoes who have gifted subs to people. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Yeah. I saw it was on. There we go. Shooting games are king right now. Everybody wants to see people playing shooting games. I will get the wild hair every once in a while, and I'll play a COD campaign mode. I do enjoy the campaign modes in COD, but I am never. I've only done COD multiplayer one time, and that was all I ever needed. It was back when I worked at GameStop. I did it, and it was the opposite of fun for me. And it wasn't because I wasn't any good. It was because I never felt like I was going to get any better. So I quit it, and I didn't. That's why I don't play a lot of PvP games. A lot of my friends play Fortnite, and they play Apex Legends. I enjoy shooting games like this, and I'll play stuff like that. But if it's PvP, you know, you have people who study those games so much. They're just they're so good, and they don't care that you don't know what you're doing. And it just, if I can't feel like I'm getting any better, I don't enjoy it. And I just this one time I played COD, I couldn't do it. It just, I was I was playing like it was one of the Modern Warfares, one of the original Modern Warfares. It's probably Modern Warfare 2. And I was playing every man for himself because I didn't want any team to get saddled with me. And it was not fun. I played it for about 3 hours, and I tried to get better, and I couldn't get into it, so I quit. A lot of my friends here play those you know, Apex and stuff, and hey, good on them. They're good at them, but not my thing. I don't know why I did that, but okay. For the speed boost, that's why I did it. Movement speed. Yeah, that's the ticket. That's the ticket. Movement speed. You down. So anyone got any big Easter plans this weekend? That's another reason I use this. Controller, controller, controller. Oh, come on, really? I grew up with a controller in my hand. I think I'm deep frying a turkey breast on Sunday, but I don't have any major plans either. Since I'm probably not doing a Friday night stream tomorrow, I might come on the weekend and do a stream. We'll see. I'm trying to stick to a schedule, though, so people know when they can find me. So we'll see. Sony used to make one for the PlayStation 1 back in the day. To me, it was uncomfortable, and I never really could use it. But you know, there just comes a point where you have to realize not everything is made for you. So I just said not for me. But for folks who needed a one-hand controller, I'm pretty sure it was just what they needed. Now, some folks don't have a choice, you know, and that's why they do that stuff for accessibility. And I'm definitely behind that, getting more people into gaming. But I just, you know, there's a lot of folks out there, especially today, who seem to think that everything is for them, and it's not. You know, not everything has to be. Yeah, say okay, I didn't know that, but that's exactly what I mean. If you can't use one of your arms, you have to have a one-handed controller. I get it. So obviously a one-handed controller for me would be useless, but for you, if it worked well, it would be exceedingly helpful, and I'm definitely behind that. Heck, I've seen some of those gaming mice that have just as many buttons on them as a keyboard does. That's intimidating. But people know what they're doing. There's a legendary drop. Don't think it's chaotic or volatile, though it's not. I can tell from the thing on it. I'm left-handed myself, so it's kind of funny. The Pac-Man machine back there, my parents gave to me for Christmas last year. And it's very cool. I love playing it. My girlfriend is not a gamer at all. She's not into it, but she does like Galaga. And the Galaga's on that machine. So I said, "Oh look, you can play this. Galaga's on it." And she doesn't like the controller setup because she wants to use her other hand for the joystick, because the buttons are on the right side, just like every other, like this. And I said, why? It's made for right-handers. I had to train myself to use a controller the way for right-handers. It's all that stuff's made for right-handers. And she's like, nope, I want it on the other side. So it's kind of funny that she goes through that, and she wants to play left-handed, even though I had to train myself to play right-handed. What do we got here? Okay. I'm almost ready for another mythic rank. Because if this were left up to me, being left-handed, I would have it the other way around. But I've been gaming for 40 years, so now this is natural to me. If it changed it, I couldn't do it. She wants it the other way around.
My faithful minion has arrived.
It's just how it is. Once you get used to something, though, it's hard to break from it. If they came to me right now and said, we want to make a left-handed controller, I don't know if I could do it. Because I've been playing this way for so long, I don't see how I could possibly change midstream and go, yeah, let's do it this way now. Oh, we'll just change the way we play with controllers. Don't think I could do it.
Oh, well, are you dead already?
Oh, boy.
Isn't even fair.
Oh boy. He's still not dropping anything. We're doing okay here. Ambidextrous. I'm only left-handed. My teachers couldn't teach me how to write, so they tried to brainwash me into being right-handed. That's a true story. They had no idea how to teach a left-hander how to write. So my handwriting classes, I would always get C's in because they couldn't teach me anything. I had to teach myself how to write. Money, money, money. $7.5 million bucks. Yeah, I've always been left-handed. Nothing I can do about it. I think I kick with my right foot though.
My spell is ready.
They tried to brainwash me to be right-handed. So what they would do is they would take my pencil and put it in my right hand, and when I write with my right hand, I write everything backwards. So my E's and my S's and all that stuff are backwards. So I would start a sentence, everything would be backwards, and then my hand would get tired, and I would go to my left hand and write with my left hand, and the rest of it would be neat, because I knew I could write with my left hand. But they hated the fact they couldn't teach me. All my teachers, up until the 6th grade, I thought I had the worst handwriting in the entire world. But I was the only person who taught me to write was me. Wasn't getting that support from any teacher at that point, that's for certain, because they didn't know how to teach a left-hander how to write, and they refused to believe that I could be left-handed.
Next time, learn to pick an easier mark, eh?
We're about to get that mythic rank. I think that'll take us back up to companion damage on the druid tree. Almost maxed that out.
This'll be fun.
There we go. Got the mythic rank. Yeah. One more point and we will max out companion damage. That's the thing, is a lot of folks, especially young people, seem to think they have it so bad, and you just want to go, it could always be worse. And I can't imagine what it would be like to have one of my arms working. That's horrible. My shield went up to 13,000. I wonder how that happened. My ward, not my shield. Alright, got him. So I gotta clean the house rest of the day, more than likely. since we're having company tomorrow or this weekend. Didn't even see her. Okay, got you down. Got
Ready to crack some skulls? Oh wait, is that offensive?
I think my next bank upgrade is 8.5 million gold, so still quite a way, not quite a ways, but still a ways from that happening. Got you. So the mythic ranks you get once you hit the max level. So if I look at my druid here, I have 2 wisdom extra. Companion damage is gonna be 30% when I'm done. Loot luck is 100% extra. So that's why I'm putting these points into these things. Every point I get will I can put into something around here, you know, into each one, and it rotates around from druid to archmage to blade master to deadeye, and that's the point of that. Hey there, Mr. Bosco. How you doing, Daylight? Haven't seen you all week.
I feel
I'm like the only guy on Twitch that has like 4 or 5 mods, and none of them show up. I know you're busy with work, though. Let's drop this other stuff off at the bank.
bonehead.
There we go. I think I've got a couple, but I got 4 or 5, but I don't know where they all ran off to. Yes, that's true. Bear, did you end your stream? Because I was about to come raid you. Everyone's out. Okay. That's true. That's true. I don't pay just yet. Once we once we start making some money, we'll see what happens. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to cut out so I can go fix lunch and clean the house for our company this weekend. I want to thank everybody for being here. I really do appreciate it. We are going to raid Bear. He's playing Call of Duty right now. Nice guy. If you want to stick around for him, I'm sure he would appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow morning doing this, playing some more of this. I'm thinking of expanding a little bit, doing some afternoons again. We will see. But in the meantime, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see everybody back tomorrow. I'm trying to pull up my raid thing so we can get out of here correctly. Oh my goodness. My computer is so slow. I just rebooted it too. There we go. I'll see everybody soon, guys. Thank you so much.